You are live.
We're going to call the meeting for Akron City Council to order. Clerk will read the roll.
Taylor.
Aye.
Connor.
Aye.
Freeman.
Aye.
Fusco.
Aye.
Hamer.
Aye.
Lombardo.
Aye.
McKittrick.
Aye.
Malik.
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Amobian.
Aye.
Samples.
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
Swirsky. All members are present except for Swirsky.
At this time, we'll be led in prayer by Coach and Pastor Kemp Boyd from Love Akron. Immediately following our prayer, I'm going to ask if Councilman Kamer would lead us in the pledge.
All right, if we can all just bow our heads. Father in heaven, we thank you so much for this day, for this has been the day that you have made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. I just pray for our council. I pray for the meeting that they will have on this evening, and that great things will come from it. Ask that you continue to bless the city of Akron, all of its citizens, every sector of our community, that we may thrive together in all that we do. We pray these things now, and we say thank you and amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Pastor Kemp.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the
of the
United States of America
America.
and to
And
the
for the
republic
republic
for which it stands, one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty,
and justice
justice for all.
for all.
The minutes from our previously held meeting have been provided. Is there a motion to approve? Councilman Fusco?
Motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Thank you. Can we get a second, Councilman Malik?
Second.
Roll call?
Taylor.
Aye.
Connor.
Aye.
Freeman.
Aye.
Fusco.
Aye.
Hamer.
Aye.
Lombardo.
Aye.
McKittrick.
Aye.
Malik.
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Amobian.
Aye.
Samples.
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
The minutes pass 12-0.
Before you, you have the consent agenda. Motion to approve, Councilman Fusco.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Can we get a second, Councilwoman Samples?
Second.
Roll call?
Taylor.
Aye.
Connor.
Aye.
Freeman.
Aye.
Fusco.
Aye.
Hamer.
Aye.
Lombardo.
Aye.
McKittrick.
Aye.
Malik.
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Amobian.
Aye.
Samples.
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
The consent agenda passes 12-0.
We do have 3 public hearings scheduled for this evening. Clerk will read in item number 1.
Notice is hereby given that the following public hearing will be held by the Council of the City of Akron on Monday, May 17th, 2021, during the council meeting at 7 p.m. Ordinance authorizing a conditional use to expand a scrap and salvage business at 655 West Wilbeth Road.
Mr. Antonucci?
Yes, thank you, Madam President, members of council. City Scrap and Salvage is requesting permission to purchase this property. Is proposing to establish a rail transfer station to be utilized by the nearby City Scrap and Salvage business. The property is owned by the City of Akron currently. Petitioner proposes to clean up the property by repairing and replacing broken fencing, clearing all debris, improving lighting, and keeping the property secure. Petitioner proposes to construct a rail spur to connect with the Akron and Barberton Belt Line to the east. This spur will enable city scrap and salvage to load rail cars with scrap for outbound purposes. Petitioner stated that there are no intentions to store scrap on site. The northwest portion of the property is buffered by a dense line of trees and is not visible to the residential properties on the north or northwest side of the CSX tracks. The city owns the property and would sell it to the petitioner for $45,000. Since the proposed use will occur infrequently and the location of the rail spur loading dock is in the midsection of the property, the effect of noise upon neighboring properties should be minimal. This section of Kenmore contains many industrial uses, and the proposed use will not be out of character with this neighborhood. This business had made a significant investment in this neighborhood and has operated here for several years. This vacant property is not needed for municipal purposes, and the sale will put the property into production and on tax rolls. Office of Integrated Development, Planning Staff, and Planning Commission recommend approval subject to the conditions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Antonucci. We did not have anyone signed up to speak against or in favor of item number 1. Councilman Fusco, what's the committee's pleasure?
I'd like to pull the committee for a favorable report with suspension of the rules.
Any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Yes, Kamer? For a favorable report with suspension of the rules. Samples?
Aye.
Baylor?
Aye.
And I vote in favor as well. The report of the committee is favorable and will ask for suspension of the rules.
The committee's report is favorable. The rules have been suspended. Roll call.
Taylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Homobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This ordinance passes 12-0. Notice is hereby given that the following public hearing will be held by the Council of the City of Akron on Monday, May 17th, 2021, during the council meeting at 7 p.m. Ordinance authorizing a conditional use to construct a soccer field on the south side of West Dartmoor Avenue and the terminus of Sycamore Street.
Mr. Antonucci?
Yes, thank you, Madam President, members of council. Vito Testa is requesting permission to construct a private outdoor soccer field at this location. The petitioner intends to grade the vacant land located east of his indoor soccer field into a 1.94 acre play area. The petitioner has stated that the field will be used mainly for soccer practice, but could be striped as a game field if needed. The petitioner's adjacent indoor soccer arena was conditionally approved in 1990. The petitioner's indoor soccer field and outdoor fields have been an asset to this neighborhood. The sandy soil in the area makes the land conducive for recreational development. Ample off-street parking is available at the petitioner's existing facility, and the Office of Integrated Development, Planning Staff, and Planning Commission recommend approval, subject to the condition. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Antonucci. Do we have Mr. Testa online with us?
Yes, I am here.
Wonderful. And also, what about Stephanie and Annette Metz? No? Mr. Dennis Akers? So it looks like, Mr. Testa, you're the only one online to testify with us this evening. So before you bring forth your remarks, I'm just going to ask that you be sworn in by a member of our law department.
If you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth? If so, please state I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Testa?
Yes, well, thank you, everyone, for the opportunity this evening. This has been a great process working with our councilman, Mr. Kamer, to get to the point where we're able to get this conditional use permit to get our 6th soccer field planted and in use for the community. This field will help not just the Firestone Park community, but the greater Akron community as a whole. It would function as a soccer field, but we have multiple sporting events, multiple athletic events, aside from soccer, throughout the year at our outdoor facility. And this additional field will just give us the leverage in order to rotate fields, keep the fields healthy, keep them green, keep them mowed, and have it be a good site looking down from South Main Street down to our property. So we're very happy and excited to get the opportunity to put the field in.
Thank you so much, Mr. Testa. I do see that Annette Metz is online. She doesn't have video, but can you hear us? Annette? Just wanted to give you an opportunity to speak if you're online. She might be having some technical difficulties. So at this time, we will close our public hearing. Councilman Fusco?
Yes, I'd like to pull the committee to refer this item. Kamer,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Baylor.
Aye.
Pull the committees to refer this item. Thank you.
This item will be referred.
Notice is hereby given that the following public hearing will be held by the Council of the City of Akron on Monday, May 17th, 2021, during the council meeting at 7 p.m. Ordinance authorizing a conditional use to expand a construction yard and build an addition at 31 East Lodge Street.
Mr. Antonucci?
Yes, thank you, Madam President, members of council. Dan Guardo is requesting permission to construct a building addition which would extend to the East Lodge Street right-of-way. The proposed plan calls for 45 feet by 75 foot garage and storage addition to the southeast corner of the present structure. The Lodge Street facade would include storefront windows within a surface of painted concrete masonry blocks. A portion of the wall space would be reserved for community art.
On to the next one.
To enhance the streetscape. The office entry on the west side of the structure would be supplemented with a new canopy and a small five-space space parking lot. Plans also call for the current fenced storage area to be expanded north of the present structure. This gravel paved area would provide an additional 10 parking spaces for vehicles and equipment. The entire storage area would be enclosed with a chain link fence with slats for screening. The traffic engineer has requested that such a fence be angled at the intersection of Lodge Street and Flower Court to provide better visibility, and the petitioner has agreed. The building addition would match the zero setback of the current structure and would provide additional massing along this otherwise undeveloped stretch of roadway. The Land Use and Development Guide Plan does recommend commercial uses for the entire property and surrounding area. The proposed plan is a significant investment and would be another step in the rejuvenation of the Howard Street neighborhood. Office of Integrated Development, Planning Staff, and Planning Commission recommend approval, subject to the conditions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Antonucci. Is Mr. Guardo online with us?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to ask that you be sworn in by a member of our law department. Do we have anyone else on that wishes to also speak in regards to this ordinance?
Yes, this is Kevin O'Malley. I'm here if you have any questions or concerns.
Perfect. So we're going to ask if both of you can be sworn in this evening for me, okay?
Okay.
Okay, if you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth? If so, please say I do.
I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Grotto, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, so what I'm looking to do is improve the property that I own and expand my my area for storage. And the lot to the north was zoned residential, but it's the only section on that street that's not developed on a Flower Court. And so I'm asking to put a fence around it, and you know, it'll be a solid fence so you can't see the equipment that's back there, and hopefully improve the area.
Okay, thank you so much. Kevin, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, just that we're willing to, as he said, put up a privacy fence so all the equipment will be out of view, and hopefully this expansion brings a lot to the community.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mhm.
We'll now close our public hearing. Councilman Fusco?
Yes, I'd like to pull a committee for a favorable report with suspension of the rules.
Any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Thank you, President Somerville. Kamer,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Baylor.
Aye.
Thank you. The report of the committee is favorable, and we're asking for passage this evening.
Thank you so much. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Homobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This ordinance passes 12-0.
Thank you so much. It appears that Annette Metz, who was trying to testify regarding the soccer field, has resolved her audio issue. Annette, can you hear us? Annette?
Looks like she's signed off the meeting.
All right, we just want to try and give her an opportunity to speak. Okay, so thank you so much. That concludes our public hearings for this evening. We'll now continue to move into our old business. Councilman Fusco, Planning and Economic Development.
Yes, thank you. The item number 4, we'd like to refer that item. And item number 5, I'd like to pull the committee for a favorable report with suspension of the rules.
Any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Thank you, President Somerville. Kamer,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Baylor.
Aye.
Thank you. This is the agreement. Last week, this had come in, and this is an amended agreement in the restated real estate purchase and development between the city of Akron as well as the High Street Associates Limited Liability Corporation. And this outlines a lease back to the city for 27,000 square feet of that building, formerly known as the YWCA building, located at 146 South High Street. This also outlines the TIF pay down, and this will help the developer reference the state historic tax credit application. So with that, we're recommending approval this evening.
Thank you so much. The rules have been suspended and the committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Homobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This ordinance passes 12-0.
Councilman Fusco.
Yes, thank you. The report of the committee is favorable on item number 6. Asking for suspension of the rules. This is a conditional use that we had addressed. The public hearing was actually last week. The ward representative wanted another week's time, and we've granted that. And so we're moving forward this evening, asking for approval.
Thank you so much. Any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules are suspended. The committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Homobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This ordinance passes 12-0.
Thank you. Councilman Fusco.
Yes, thank you. The committee requests time on items 7 and 8. And the committee would like to file items number 9 and 10. Those are the public hearings that we've voted on and addressed. Request time on 11 and 12 and to file item number 15 that we had just voted on, and then time on the balance of the agenda.
The time will be granted. I'm going to ask again if everyone can make sure that you muted on your end. So we'll take a pause just to make sure of that. Okay, thank you so much. That concludes our old business for this evening. We'll now move into new legislation, starting with budget and finance.
Item number 1, offered by Freeman. Ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee without the formality of publicly advertising for bids to enter into a contract or contracts with Involta LLC for the renewal purchase of servers and software at Involta's Akron data center and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman.
Committee's requested this item be placed on the consent agenda.
Thank you. This item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 2, offered by Freeman. Ordinance authorizing the purchasing agent to enter into an agreement or agreements without the formality of advertising for bids with Amazon and WB Mason for the purchase of miscellaneous supplies and small dollar purchases used by various divisions and departments of the city for a period of 1 year, authorizing payment therefore and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman.
Consent as well.
This item will also be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 3, offered by Freeman. Ordinance ratifying the actions of the administrator or administrative judge of the Akron Municipal Court in contracting with Marios without the formality of advertising for bids for the renovation of the 7th floor offices of the Akron Municipal Court, authorizing payment therefore and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman.
The committee's request is consent, and I would just encourage any council members that were not in on the committee meeting today. There were some questions as to why this job was not bid out. There was some explanation given, and I would just encourage you to watch that if you would have any questions. But we're asking this item to be placed on the consent agenda.
Thank you so much, Councilman Freeman. This item will also be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 4, offered by Mayor Horrigan, President Somerville, and Councilwoman Amobian. Ordinance repealing ordinance number 214-2020 passed July 13th, 2020, which ordered that all persons in public places within the city of Akron wear a face covering, encouraging Akron residents to continue to follow CDC guidance and any applicable requirements from the Ohio Department of Health for individual businesses, industries, and make responsible personal decisions that will limit the spread of COVID-19 and declaring an emergency.
Councilwoman Amobian.
Yes. The committee's report is favorable, and we ask for suspension of the rules.
Are there any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
We are also suggesting that we make this mayor and council as a whole. But before we do that, I don't know if Commissioner Skoda is present or not. She came to the committee meeting this afternoon on short notice and made us aware of the fact that her board has approved unmasking as of the 13th, I think she said, of May. And this ordinance, this resolution or ordinance is asking that we follow the science. The governor is asking that we look at June 2nd as a day to start requiring masks to be worn. But we realized that after talking with Commissioner Skoda and listening to all the scientists all around, that those that are not vaccinated still need to take whatever precautions they need to take. But those individuals have been completely vaccinated, have a better chance of surviving any type of virus infection that they may contract, but that is safer now than it has been for us to start wearing the facial coverings, but continue to practice as much as you can, safe distancing and just be mindful that if you're in a crowd or in a large gathering, that you don't know who has been vaccinated, who hasn't been. So as an honor system, it's something that you still have to take some precautions, but that we will be following the recommendation of the governor. And that's what we did when we decided to ask people to wear the masks, the facial coverings. So now we're telling people that we believe we're safer now after going through the vaccinations and try to encourage everybody you know to get vaccinated, because we all have a higher probability of being safe than not. So with that, I turn it over to you, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Amobian. The rules have been suspended and the committee's report is favorable. I think, Councilwoman Amobian, you want to make a motion for mayor and council as a whole?
Yes, I would like to make a move that we have this ordinance supported by mayor and council as a whole.
Okay, thank you so much. Can we get a second? Councilwoman Connor,
I'll second that motion.
roll call?
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This ordinance passes 12-0, mayor and council as a whole.
That concludes our new legislation for this evening. We'll now move to the portion of our meeting that we refer to as our public comment period, and our clerk will play in comments received for this evening.
Hi, my name is Zachary Ryder. I am a resident of Akron, Ohio. My address is 621 Cyberling Street, Seiberling, Akron, Ohio, 44306. I would like to make a public comment in regards to our local area in Ward 10. Again, we live on Cyberling. I have reached out to council and have received no response from our Ward 10 president. And I would like a response. If you would like to give me a call at 330-255-9833 to discuss it. We have reported numerous dirt bikes on a daily basis, mopeds, everything, riding up and down Cyberling. We've reported to police, nothing's being done. I mean, there's never anything done in this local area of ours. I have some neighbors behind us on this one, and we would like to publicly make a comment in regards to this. So if you could please return my call at 330-255-9833, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I'm Bill Nesbitt of 330-379-2235, 1155 Gagnon Road, Akron, Ohio. All have the great, well, first of all, let's get our dear box back to our High Street location, folks. And let's get restore our original location building of our Akron, our dear Ladies Youth Center. Let's get all that going. Thanks for your service. Have a great 2019-21 from winter to spring. And I say in the Episcopalian Catholic Church, Ascension, Pentecost, Easter season with Ladies' Days advancing. Have the greatest, everybody.
Hi, my name is Ryan Keene, 1604 Hampton Road. I'm a longtime resident of Ward 10 in Akron, Ohio. I'm a member of About Face Veterans Against the War and serve the people Akron. I was just calling to see if the council members who have been notified numerous times about Akron Police Department having extremist militia gangs within their ranks and openly wearing 3%er tattoos during the George Floyd protests. These were located on body cameras that took 7 to 8 months of battling with the City of Akron Law Department for Freedom of Information public records requests to get, and it's pretty disturbing. Also, I know all members of council and the mayor have been notified of the Akron Police Department Facebook social media page laughing at a comment about a child dying in the hands of Akron Police, Xavier McMullen, as well as well-documented recent cases of police brutality, such as Charles Hicks, where Officer Turner was allowed to resign, therefore to go to another police department and commit police brutality. I would think with the Akron Police Department having a recruiting time right now, it may be a good time to go through and check Akron police personnel for extremist links and tattoos to gangs. But I don't know, Councilwoman Samples and Councilman Malik are the only two of all the members of council to have responded with their concerns. So I hope you all have a great day. Bye.
I'm calling in behalf of John and Tanya Wedlake, 1728 Sycamore Street, to express our concerns and ask for your utmost consideration when making your decision on the proposed amendment to allow for the rooftop sign on Firestone Boulevard. I would first like to say that we had every intention of presenting our concerns at the zoning meeting in April and the following council meeting last week, but due to a missed email by zoning, we were not included and were unable to participate. Several council members are aware of our situation and have been kind enough to hear our plight and offer their concerns and advice. We are asking that you reconsider the proposed location of the sign and fully understand the significance the placement has on our family, our property value, and the ability to continue to live happily as we have at 1728 Sycamore Street since 1992. I am willing to bet my life that not one person driving by on the design or planning committee or anyone involved with the restoration of the sign will have their daily personal life affected by that sign's location on Building 1. An 11-foot tall, 90-foot long illuminated sign positioned at the closest possible proximity to our property will consume nearly every view and interfere with almost every facet of normal existence for us. If ever there was a chance to make a monumental difference in someone's life, this is Bridgestone Firestone Corporation's opportunity to say they care with a simple gesture. Moving the sign north on the rooftop puts the sign in a better view with the adjacent Firestone Stadium having the matching brick facade as the old Building 1 would be a perfect option. This would also avoid a possible unforeseen road hazard such a large illuminated sign so close to the road may cause. The enormous sign would still be in an unobstructed view from passing Wilbeth Road traffic and create a wonderful nostalgic ambience for the players fortunate enough to play at that venue. I ask that anyone involved visit my property to truly get perspective of the matter at hand or view pictures provided to Councilman Kamer or Antonucci. I thank you in advance for your willingness and consideration. Proud, upstanding, and awarded property owners since 1992, John and Tanya Wedlake. Thank you.
Hi, this is Nick, 41 Marshall Avenue, Nick Castielpo, Ward 1. Hope you all doing well tonight. Just calling in to address a few things. Number one, we still haven't had an official statement from the city, from the Akron Police Department, from the police auditor, from the mayor, from any of you about our discovery of extremist tattoos in the APD ring. Specifically, a member of the Akron Police Department was seen donning a 3%er tattoo during last year's George Floyd's protest. So that's awfully concerning, and it's very concerning that nobody has released a statement on this. Additionally, the Akron Police Department's official Facebook page thought it was appropriate to laugh at a comment that addressed the Akron Police Department's murder of 2 Akronites and also the brutalization of 2 other folks, one of whom is currently in a lawsuit against the Akron Police Department. So it's awfully unprofessional at the least, but very concerning at the worst, that somebody in the Akron Police Department would think that this was okay or funny. And it's still concerning that, again, none of you, the mayor, the Akron Police Department, nor the police auditor have, again, made public statements about this. It's a bad look. Additionally, again, all these COVID dollars, $153 million in COVID relief aid set to hit the city. I really, again, urge you all not to spend a dime of that on the Akron Police Department. We already fund them plenty. And they aren't doing anything to reduce the number of murders or crime in this rate. We can fund other things that actually get to the root of these problems much easier, that actually affirm life and help folks instead of further criminalizing and brutalizing them. And then the last point, and I hope y'all decide to pass something condemning Israel's war crimes and genocidal tendencies towards Palestinians. Akron has a sister city in Israel. Akron has business ties in Israel. It would be nice to join the boycott and divestment movement and have Akron come out strong on the side of human rights and stand up for Palestinian rights to their land and to their lives. That's all for me. Hope y'all have a good night. Bye.
That concludes our public comments for this evening. I want to thank all of those who participated. Again, all of these comments have been sent to the appropriate council person and the appropriate department. At this time, we'll go over our committee assignments, rules. Councilman Freeman.
2:30.
Public Safety, Councilman Kamer.
2:15.
Budget and Finance, Councilman Freeman.
3 p.m.
Parks and Rec, Councilman Neal.
1:45.
Planning and Economic Development, Councilman Fusco.
1,
Housing and Neighborhood Assistance, Councilman Fusco.
subject to a call.
Public Service, Councilwoman Samples.
2 p.m.
Health and Social Services, Councilwoman Amobian.
2:30.
Public Utilities and Green Committee, Councilman Freeman.
2:45.
Thank you. Is there anything else coming before council? I do see Councilman Malik.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to let council know that the two issues raised by Mr. Keen and by Mr. Cassiopo have been shared with Major Leaser. Major Leaser did provide some further information. I know on the issue of the tattoo, he directed Office of Professional Standards and Accountability to look into the issue. I'm trying to get a little bit more information. And also on the issue regarding the Facebook page, it is concerning that a post was reacted to in a certain way. So again, trying to address that with APD, and just want to make sure everyone knows that. Thank you.
Councilman Malik, thank you so much for that update. Councilwoman Connor.
I just want to update and let everyone know I did speak with Mr. Ritter this afternoon and will be helping him as best I can with the motorbike problem in his neighborhood.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Connor. Councilman Neal.
Thank you, Madam President. Ms. Amobian was before me.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Councilwoman Amobian.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to, I don't normally comment on others' remarks about me, but about 2 weeks ago, the Akron Beacon Journal's editorial board wrote an editorial and quoted me, and I must say accurately. And I stand by my statement that I endorse spending 20 million or whatever millions that we decide on the issue of youth violence, activities, interventions to reduce it. And what concerned me more than anything was that I never said that I wanted to spend $20 million on policing only. I would like to see us spend $20 million or whatever millions we decide to spend on recreational activities, positive interventions for children, leadership development, job programs, whatever we can to help kids and children in the inner city find more positive things to do. Because I tell you, it has to be quite disturbing to be in your home and to have gunshots coming through your walls. as we just had the other day. And I would guess, and probably would bet money, that those individuals on the editorial board who wrote this article don't live in the inner city of Akron, and would probably spend any amount of money they needed to or wanted to if this kind of violence happened in their communities. And I wouldn't be surprised if they brought in the military, whatever their power, influence, and resources could afford to reduce the violence. I think we have seen that the violence that we experienced last year resulted in more deaths last year than year before. And it looks like the way things are going, we may have a higher level this year than last year. So I think we should spend any amount of money and resources that we need to address this problem in a multifaceted way, whether we do it with clergy leadership, community leaders, whatever it takes to address it. So I stand by my quote, and I again say that we should spend more than 20 million if it needs that. So thank you very much, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Amobian. Councilman Neal?
Thank you, Madam President. Well, to my colleague's point, we know that this is a unique opportunity for cities with the American Rescue Plan dollars that are coming directly to cities. This has never happened before. One of the best practice urgings from the association that we're associated with, National League of Cities, as well as Ohio Municipal League, is that cities have a documented way of tracking these dollars. And so not just the youth intervention piece, but as a whole, it would do us well to, with these dollars hitting our community, if they haven't hit already, they'll be hitting in the next week, to put a process in place. I know this council has balked against putting the budget online. These are independent dollars that we need to be able to track and understand. To spend them is one thing, but to understand how we're investing them is another. And being able to track and monetize that investment. Not just say we spent $20 million on whatever we spend it on, or $2 million on whatever, and not be able to monetize it. So I would urge, I'm going to send some information to our budget finance chair of some tools that we can look at. That also being said, excuse my ignorance on the 3%. I'm going to do some research on it. I would like for that, if we could have that report to us by, I heard Councilman Mallett, but wherever information they have, I'd like to have that brought to us next week for council so they can be informed on that. Because it concerns me, because, and this is where we have to get difference of opinions, the recruiting billboards that are up for our police department, they look like they're a gang. They don't present our police department in the best light. I'm on North Hill. There's one right down the street from my business. And when I drive down East Cuyahoga Falls and I look at that sign, I'm like, especially here when I'm hearing here about the tattoos and everything, not a good look. So if there's money in the budget, I would encourage coming up with some new signs. It's obviously that they did not use a culturally sensitive media group to put those ads together. But I just encourage you. I don't know if any of you have seen the signs. I thank my colleague, Ms. Amobian, for pointing it out to me. And as soon as I got a chance to see one, those are not a good look, especially in this time. I don't know if any of you have seen them. Is it just me? But they don't look like they're inviting a diverse group to our police force. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Councilman Neal, for sharing that. Councilman Kamer?
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to briefly update council and yourself that I'm currently working with Charlie Brown, Deputy Mayor, Public Safety Charlie Brown, to get him and the officers back here so we can continue that discussion on gun violence. And I echo with Councilwoman Amobian that we as council, we do need to look at how we can spend funding to move forward and try to curb youth gun violence and any kind of violence related to guns in our city. So I just wanted to let you know that I'm currently working to try to get him scheduled. I know we have Memorial Day coming up. So hopefully he'll be back in the next couple weeks and we can continue that discussion. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilman Kamer, for providing us with that update. Is there anything else coming before council at this time? Councilman Busco,
Motion to adjourn.
got a motion to adjourn. If there are no objections, meeting adjourned.
This concludes the live broadcast of Akron City Council. Margot Somerville, President of Council